Good afternoon. My name is Selena Saavedra. Today I'm going to be speaking about objectives and key results, how OKRs can develop our future. This is for a course on technical and corporate training presentation skills. Again, my name is Selena Saavedra. I've been a project manager for over 15 years, and I've been leading teams of project managers and developers, stakeholders throughout my career. Today I'll be speaking about objectives and key results, or OKRs, and how they can help develop your future. Objectives are goals that you set to accomplish within a certain amount of time, and the key results are what help lead you to accomplish those goals. I've been using objectives and key results throughout my career to assist team members achieve their career goals, whether they are short-term goals or long-term goals. And I've been using this method of attaining goals for myself as well as my team members for several years, and it's proven to be effective in my experience. I'm currently the Associate Director of IT Project Management at the University of North Texas, and I continue to practice this methodology with my associates and my team members today. I lead a team of project managers, business administrators, and quality assurance specialists, all of whom have been instructed with this objective and key results methodology. I hope that you'll take an interest in learning about objectives and key results so that you can also effectively achieve your goals using this process. We'll begin by asking, what are OKRs? What are objectives and key results? Well, they're a method for turning purpose into action and creating value in those action plans. So consider the objective as your goal, as well as the conditions, qualifications, or quantifiable results as those key results that you're focused on to attain your objective. So there are many ways to achieve goals. So why objectives and key results, or OKRs? Let's watch a quick video on what matters, getting started with OKRs. Ryan will explain why we look at OKRs in this first part of a series of videos from the What Matters website.
Hello, welcome to the What Matters Getting Started course. My name is Ryan Panchatswaram, and I'm one of the co-founders of What Matters. This course is about OKRs, objectives and key results, but it's really about goal setting and how to be an audacious leader for you and your organization. The special thing about the system is that it's so simple, but we really know it works because it's been used in pretty incredible places, from Intel and creating the microprocessor to Google helping index the world's information, all the way to, a rock star like Bono, who uses it with his one organization to try to rid the world of poverty. After taking this Getting Started course, you're going to understand this framework, right? What objectives and key results are. You're going to be able to write your first objectives and key results too, and that's whether you're a leader of an organization or a team. And then you're going to learn how to be able to roll it out and actually use them with your team and know if you're doing that well or not. OKRs can't fix everything. They can't replace the culture of your workplace. They can't transform bad leadership. But what they can do is help surface the right priorities that your team should be focusing on and help point you in that direction.
So now that we know why we're looking at objectives and key results, let's take it apart a little bit and look at just the objectives first. What are objectives? Basically, objectives are goals that we create for ourselves, whether in our personal life or in work. So who can give me some examples of how an objective can be broken down into smaller parts? Think about your goal and Maybe it is a great, audacious goal to learn how to fly. How do I break that down into smaller parts? Well, I might consider first, let's learn a little bit about aviation and how an airplane works. And maybe that's my first objective. So an objective doesn't have to start at the top with a huge goal in mind. It can be small goals that lead up to a larger objective. The second half of OKRs are the key results. So why key results? What does that mean? The key results are how you measure that objective. These are the measurable items that you can look at to decide whether or not you've reached your goal. How do I know when I've met my objective? Well, I'm able to measure that either by time or date or some other quantifiable uh, item that's going to tell me how I've achieved what I've decided that my goal will be. One way to consider your OKRs is by using this SMART acronym. You may have heard of this before. The S is SMART, being specific. M is measurable. The A is actionable or sometimes attainable. R is realistic. And the T is time bound. So think about how the objectives that you create for yourself can be measured with key results that are very specific, of course, measurable. And are they actionable? Is it something that I can actually do? And realistic as well. You know, I'm not going to try and win the Super Bowl. And also give yourself some time to make those things happen. We want to make sure that we give ourselves enough time, but also challenge yourself. So, what is your objective? How are you going to consider what your OKRs should be and how they will help to make improvements? The purpose of this presentation is to develop OKRs to help improve the future of what it is that you do, whether it's a personal goal or an organizational goal. How should you align your goals to make them attainable? So you need to consider short-term versus long-term goals, and also consider what you're trying to achieve as that larger attainable goal. So for an organization, for example, I may have a goal that's focused on unity across the organization. Now, in my work, I might have to break it down into a smaller goal that will help lead at least myself and hopefully my team to reach that larger organizational goal. Let's take a look at some examples. So here are some personal goal examples. You've probably said these things to yourselves before. I want to save more money. Who doesn't? I want to be healthier. Yes, of course. I want to visit every state park in the US. Maybe not my personal goal, but it might be one of yours. Here are some examples of organizational goals. My team needs to be more effective, or my team needs to receive an excellent rating, Or my team needs to be more cohesive. So think about the strategic plan of your organization. What is your strategy for success? How are you going to achieve these organizational goals? Also consider, what is the value of having a strategic plan? So consider that having a strategy, or in this case, your OKRs, and how they will lead to that organizational goal. Once you have your objective in mind, you know what goal you want to attain, then you need to consider the key results. Which key results can be measured? In order to think about measurable results, think about whether you can track those results. Is this something that you can see a change in over time? Can you review these results? Is it something that's easily available to you? And can you make adjustments to those key results? It doesn't mean having an OKR does not mean you have to be perfect every time and reach every result, but you can make adjustments based on what you know and changes that happen through time. OKRs are not necessarily performance goals, but they should be goals that can be reviewed frequently and adjusted as needed. I'll show you some examples here coming up, but consider what factors need to be thought about when reviewing your OKRs. How are you going to frequently review and improve your goal performance? Here's an example of a personal OKR. The objective is I want to save more money. So I want to make sure that my key results are measurable. Also consider the SMART acronym. You want your key results to be specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. So the key results I'll focus on for this objective will be, by the end of the year, I want to save an extra $1,200. And I will save an extra $100 each month in order to attain this goal. Over time, I start to measure my results by tracking and reviewing what I've been able to save and as time has gone by. So I think about how much extra money do I have each month. So by the third month, I recognize I can save $150 each month rather than just $100. So this is where the adjustment is made. I know I can do this, so let's continue by saving $150 every month. So now that we've considered an example of an OKR, saving money, let's create your own OKR. So you're going to consider, what is your objective or your goal, and how can that goal be measured? What key results are going to help you attain that goal? So I'm going to ask you, what is the focus of creating OKRs for our department? Let's think about an organizational goal that we might be able to achieve together. If our organizational goal is to attain unity across the departments, then let's consider how each of our individual goals can align with that organizational goal. So I'm going to have everyone write examples of an OKR, or you can write several if you'd like. uh, what is your goal? And also consider using the SMART acronym to create measurable key results. I've also provided a handout that'll help you through some additional examples of how OKRs can be written. Now that you've written your own OKRs, let's listen to some testimonials from some of the other OKR experts, like Peter Kappas, who's an OKR coach, and hear what OKRs have done for them.
Neat, because my wife and I had just moved. We had a 3-year-old son. I was working too much. We weren't sleeping enough. Life had a lot of room to improve. And it was in January of 2016. I sat down with my trusty Sharpies and I wrote down some OKRs on some sticky notes.
And I think you found them for us,
And
didn't
I
you?
found them, and I think we probably have them up here
I
on the
believe
screen
we do.
in all their glory. But you can see it's things like making dinner more at home, or date nights, or getting more sleep, or things like this. And they were kind of terrible OKRs because they were written in the third person. They used waffly language like improve, or get a little bit better at X, which I try to avoid these days. But what was important about them is that they really opened a conversation, and in this case, a really important conversation with my wife and my friends, and talking about how to actually make life better. And so I still use personal OKRs. They've gotten a lot more streamlined and a lot simpler these days. So it's things like keeping my business profitable, or making sure that I'm doing regular check-ins and that I'm happy and the family is feeling good, and things like that. But I think what was really powerful about it is that even though I think I managed to sort of salvage date night, but not by much. A lot of those other OKRs, we missed them that quarter. But the conversations that it opened were really important, I think, and that was the biggest learning for me, was to realize that this was a very simple, safe kind of framework for having really difficult, robust, important conversations that people need to have together. And once I realized that in my personal life, I could start to see in all the professional work that I was doing, how when you really care about something as a leader, it's very easy to jump into a solution, which is what I had done with my own personal OKRs too, of saying, all right, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And they had that kind of to-do list quality. But it's made me a lot more empathetic, I think, by practicing using them in my personal life.
Here's another testimonial found in the What Matters website from Travel Perks CEO and co-founder Avi Mir. He says Travel Perks' success has been their mindset on achieving the most impact possible. So you can see from the testimonial from Peter Kappas in the previous video, and from Avi Mir's words here, how impactful OKRs can be, not only for personal goals, but for organizational goals as well. In conclusion, you can see that having OKRs can help you succeed, along with a strategic plan to create value and to reach your goals. Objectives are goals for turning purpose into action, and the key results are the measurable results that add value to your plan. Thank you for your participation in this presentation today on objectives and key results. If you need more information, I'm available. You can email me with any questions that you may have. And I will also be emailing out a survey to everyone who attended today to provide feedback for me and my future presentations. Again, thank you so much.